card is any of those 15, one of them would die. Either the one I just played, or the one that was previously out. And there are actually times where you want to play a legendary, even though it will kill another legendary you already have. They're very rare, but there are times where you want to have a legendary do something, and then play another one to basically replace it. It's weird, but there are times you want to do it. So, I felt like I should mention that. And I'm just going to punch you in the face again, Bantu. "4/4 is very good. This card is exceptionally strong. This card is a 4/4, which has 4 attack and 4 health for 2 mana. It's a little ridiculous. Normally, a more normal-looking card for a normal curve... Kinda, yeah. Kinda. That's a good comparison, I guess. Anyway, a normal-looking card is 2 mana for a 2/2. This thing is 2 mana for a 4/4. But when it comes into play, you have to put 3 weakening counters on your own cards. So you can either do what I did and put them on your 2/2 to kill it off and get a free 4/4, or you can put them on here and make it a 1/1 when it comes out. There's a lot of strategy to this deck, and I like it a lot. This is one of my fun decks that this is the first deck this deck got me back into playing Paper Magic again. So, I thought it was a fun idea. But yeah, Tribute Summon's a good comparison to make. Holy crap, I dropped a lot of frames. Holy crap, okay. Neat, I'm gonna have to find out where that lag was. And now. Or not, because it didn't work. Cool. Meh, I don't care, I don't need it. This is gonna be nice. Let's kill that. As a new player, I'd say probably the best one to play just to kind of get used to the game would be Mono Red. A deck with only red cards, because it's a very fast, aggressive, speed deck that just does a lot of damage. This thing has an ability called Lifelink. Whenever it deals damage, I gain that much life. Red would be a good starting point. White's a good starting point. They're both very simple. Green's a good starting point because that's the most simple of them all. In fact, green's my least favorite color generally because I don't like how they work most of the time. Is that a may or must? That's a must, okay. You could really run anything except for blue. Blue is the most complex. So I'd recommend running anything but blue. Black is good because it's got removal. Red is good because it's got removal. Green is good because it's very simple. And white is good because it's kind of simple, but also some of the aggro stuff and some of the other support stuff. There's a lot of ways you can do things. I'm actually just going to sit and wait for a bit. By the way, I want to point this out right now. Notice how many creatures I have. Yeah, your field is unlimited in Magic. You can have as many monsters as you want. Whereas in Yu-Gi-Oh, you get a maximum of 5. Up to 6 now. Also, I wanted to mention this thing earlier. This thing is called an artifact, which the closest comparison I could make is equip magic, but there are artifacts that don't equip things, so they're more like continuous spells or maybe field spells sometimes. Artifacts are generally very diverse and do a lot of different things, so I just felt like I should mention that. I'm going to get rid of this flying thing because that's a pain in the butt that I don't want to see ever come back, so that's being exiled. No. Try 200 or 2000. There are things that literally make you infinite creatures. There are combos that exist that make you infinite creatures. And they're some of the meanest things in the game. Like, you can make an army of infinite 1/1s and then just... Since creatures can only block one creature at a time, you can just swing with that army of 1/1s and win the game. Because they are not stopping that at all. Normally I would kill them, but right now I need to do things with my game. So now this is another interesting thing. Creatures' spells you control can't be countered. First of all, I should point out that every creature in this every non-land card in the game of Magic is technically a spell. Yeah, token decks are scary sometimes. Everything is a spell, except for lands. So, and there are things in blue that say counter target spell, which means while it's resolving on chain link, which in this game is called the stack, they can target the thing on the stack and say, hey, that doesn't happen. By the way, a very important thing to remember in Magic is that unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can counter Chain Link 1 with Chain Link 7. Something that Yu-Gi-Oh! Really should have fixed a long time ago. But, oh well. Also, this card is unusually strong, and I don't know why. It's a 4/3 for 3 mana. That's really, really strong, and that's, like, not normal. Normally, you're going to see 3/3s. 4/3 for 3 is unusually strong, especially one that has no downside to playing. Again, I'm just going to kind of sit on this field for now, because I need to get certain bonuses. And I kind of want to showcase other things this deck does, like making a lot of tokens. Baleful Omet. And let's put his counter there. See, the actual interface of the game zoomed out because I have so many cards on my field. So yeah, there's no limit to how big your field can be. I'm wondering why Bantu hasn't played anything in the last 4 turns. No, it wouldn't, because you can't counter all of them. There is a specific card that counters everything in play, but that's the only card that would stop Chain Burn. You could stop like half of the damage, but not all of it. Let's do that. There's one card that I know of in all of Magic, the entire game, that would stop Chain Burn. And it's called Counterflux. It counters everything. I'm sure there are other cards that do that. Okay, that's an example of what I was saying before. He just played another copy of the legendary artifact Bantu's Monument, which means that he had to get rid of the first one he had. Which is good for me, because that card's a problem. So, let's put those on there. No, blue is very control. It's not just for countering. Blue is the only color that really gets all the, like, return target card to its owner's hand, or, in fact, blue gets a lot of things like that, where it's just, blue in general is the one that messes with other players and what they're trying to do. It's not just for countering. Also dropped a few more frames. I hate having to be down here, though. The streaming kills my battery life. So... Alright, now you're going to get to see this card in action. This card, I have an entire deck built around this. It's so good. Because I just put two -1/-1 counters on this dude, I just made two free insects. Now, which means that my power did not actually decrease. It just got moved around. And more importantly, you can have up to 4 of these things in play at once. Which means that you lose 1 attack and you get 4 out of it. Actually, Star plays mono red, I'm pretty sure. Star plays Magic, you could ask him. Go ahead and ask Star what he plays, because I'm not sure. He had no reason to block that. That was me being goofy. It dealt 0 damage to him, so why would he bother stopping it? Hey, more flying problems. Okay. Alright, that was an example of the stack going off the way I wanted it to. This card, when he played it, he has to sacrifice a creature to do it. And then he targets a creature that I control and kills it. He wanted to kill this thing. My response to that was to say, Chain Link 2, I'm going to do this. Kill this, because that's flying and Death Touch, something I do not want to see. I forgot the thing with Death Touch. That's even scarier than I thought it was. And because 2 creatures died now, this guy's going to draw me 2 cards before he goes away. So... Oh, that's another thing. In Magic, chains are not nearly as limited as they are in Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh!, a chain lasts... Like, you can't add to a chain once it's already, quote-unquote, finished. In Magic, there's no such restriction. Like, in Magic, you actually have, like, it's hard to explain this. In Magic, you can wait for something to resolve and then add something to the chain before the original thing does. So, you can have Chain Link 1... Chain Link 2, Chain Link 3, wait until 3 resolves, and then put a new 3 on top. Which is unheard of in Yu-Gi-Oh! World, and I love that about Magic. There's a lot of things that I think Magic does better than Yu-Gi-Oh! For example, game balance. The game's a lot slower, more decks have a chance to win. The meta's not 4 decks, it's like 10. Although, to be fair, right now the meta in Magic is 1. So... Because Ramanop Red is too cheap for its own good. So I'd just like to point out, right now I have 4, 13, 14, 15, 16...